Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. Skep Talk and I are back again with another coffee stream number 77. Holy Christ, we're only 23 away from 100. I hope you
The
guys are
hundred,
having a good
the
day. Hmm?
awesome. The 100th
It,
stream should be awesome.
it will. I'm gonna actually start planning it.
You've got to go back to a couple of your, earliest streams and get some Hall of Shame moments, some
Yeah.
hilarious moments to put together so we can, have a fun clip with them. And I haven't been with you for most of that time, but I've been here enough to, and certainly was an active member of chat here and there for the first part. That I'll be able to contribute to that. I'll certainly be able to contribute to the bloopers part. Sorry, that's my puppy
I hear a puppy.
moaning. Yeah, she's moaning in the background. She's a little bit bored right now.
I was gonna
Doesn't
say,
understand why won't Dad let me electrical cord. I really want to bite that electrical cord. I really want to.
is she moaning because she's dream chasing things, or is she awake?
No, she's awake. She's awake. If she slept until it was 5 minutes to showtime. Of course,
Oh, of course.
exactly what you would expect. And now she wants to go explore, chew things up, wreck things, and which is not going to happen. She's going to remain in my lap until she gives up on this foolish fantasy. Can you hear that?
Yes, it's adorable.
Funny. And uh, she's trying to get the speaker cord right now.
Oh,
Reaching for it with her little claws and
is
her
she
needle-like
teething yet?
teeth.
I'm guessing.
Oh, like you can't even believe. Yeah, it's a couple of magazines and a book. To this. That's okay. I mean, I've got a lot of books around
Yeah.
here, and books are. It's funny, odd that here in current year 2019. How does that sound to you? By the way, does 2019 sound weird?
Hmm.
It sounds. I never thought I'd live to be this old. I did not. I did not conduct my early existence in a manner that anybody would have bet that I would have made it to this point. So I wasn't expecting to, didn't particularly want to, and
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I did. And against all odds, literally against all odds, I survived. Odd and strange. Um, where was I going with that? Just thinking about aging in 2000 and so forth. I used to think that no, get that out of your mouth. I used to think that wow, the year 2000, man, I'll be 48 years old. That's so old. No, it's not. No, it's not. 40 is the new 20, trust me. And 30s are the new teenage years. Medicine and lifestyle have turned the actuarial numbers on their heads. What was I reading about this morning? Golly, just a lot of things I guess happened in 2018 that are worth going over. But I wondered if you had any reflections from having started the stream 76 chapters ago. If you had any reflections of how you've changed about how you look at it, and what you want for it, and where you want it to go, and so forth.
Um, I really didn't think it would get this big this fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I I really just I wanted to start something to have some fun,
Uh-huh.
and oh, Alex, do you need your light on? You need the light on in the bathroom? Okay, okay, hold on.
Well, welcoming our guest star, Alex, broadcast. Alex with us in the broadcast booth. Bless you.
Let's go, please. Let's go, please. Yeah.
All right.
Well, Mommy's gonna make two of herself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull a sanguine. Mom, I'm gonna have people. Yes, I'm coming, sweetie. Don't worry. I'm coming.
Are you broadcasting from your phone?
Take off your headphones. Take off your headphones. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I actually think be driving to a distant pharmacy this morning.
Oh yeah.
Getting some my wife, and would be coming back and might be broadcasting from my phone.
Oh yeah.
In the driving rain down here, and I was thinking about, man, it's so noisy, so obnoxious. I wonder if I should just spare them that. I almost DM'd you.
Oh yeah.
And then before we came on, in fact, the reason that I was a little bit late getting in was I got a call from the pharmacy that said they have to fix their stuff. It's called a compounding pharmacy, where they actually mix the stuff up, because it's got to be
okay.
stuff they put together. And it's not quack medicine or anything. It's not anything weird like that. It's just it's normal stuff. But they don't have a lot of there's no compounding pharmacy that is nearby to where I drive like 30 miles to this compounding pharmacy.
I gotcha.
And pick the stuff up for once every couple 3 months.
Yeah.
So anyway, they just called and said, well, it wasn't ready anyway. Pharmacist was late, blah, 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 blah. So that's off till this afternoon, except this afternoon got hit by a rock. And so Safe Flight is coming over to fix the windshield. So, it never rains, it just pours. Just a little view into what my exciting life is really like. And I've got a struggling puppy who, having been denied the opportunity to bite my speaker wire or my electrical cable, is now biting my thumb. So it's trying to concentrate through that. Oh no, go making him play for the speaker wire. Suddenly pulls reverse and bites my sweatshirt. I'm in frustration because Daddy won't let her. He loved the little baby. Oh, she's giving me kisses. And now she just bit my chin. That's not fair. Stop that. Knothead. Sweet little thing. I love this little dog. She and I are really bonding.
Oh, that's good.
Having a good bonding moment.
That's good.
I didn't have a lot of it's college football is basically the news that happens on New Year's Eve in the United States.
Well, now that my kid is he needed me to help him turn the light on in the bathroom. I can properly answer your question about reflections of the coffee stream.
Yeah.
So now that it's gotten to where it is, and people, like large people, like when I say large people, I mean people with a big audience, actually want to interact with me. I find that really cool, because I haven't really done anything, in my mind, anything special to warrant their attention. But they really genuinely want to interact with me. And I never thought that would happen. Like, I thought and I was okay with that. Right.
Yeah.
I just thought it would be like a neat little small thing that that people would enjoy. And
yeah.
now I have the attention of people like Irate Bear. Like I go into their chat and like, yeah.
You're roboting.
People. Oh, I'm roboting?
Yeah, you cut out. Say again what you just said.
So they
Irate Bear.
From people like Irate Bear have, you know, they notice other people in chat too, right? Like it's not just me, but
sure.
they say hi specifically, right? Like I've become one of the people that they like to say hi to. I've become, you know, when I say, hey, do you want to be a guest on my on the coffee stream, they're like, sure, you know, absolutely want to, like, and that's really cool to me, like, because I've been fans of these people for like almost 2 years, right? Like,
sure.
So it's kind of a fangirl type situation a little bit when people like Ranting Monkey or Sinatra or Irate Bear agree to come on to my little stream.
Sure.
And I never thought I'd get there in 5 months. Like,
what you find out, it's kind of interesting. They're just folks, aren't they?
They are just fun. They're fun folks. They're nice folks. They're genuine folks. Like,
they have a few bits that I notice, or at least common characters. At least I believe that they have them. They tend to be very honest and straightforward.
Yeah.
And they tend to be highly opinionated and almost uniformly nice and are feeling that they'll give you an even chance to make your argument. And all the people who you mentioned, the one I probably know, the Sinatra, but I've been an admirer of his work for a while. And he's got a terrific voice too, especially for somebody who grew up listening to the actual Frank Sinatra. He really does harken back his voice. But you know, yeah, I love his you know, style and acerbic delivery and so forth. Been sub to him for forever, but I know him less well than I know Irate Bear or Monkey stream with. When I went to MythCon and had a chance to meet some, you know, other people, you know, Blair White and Jacqueline Glenhead and Armored Skeptic, Sargon, and that lot, Aiden Paladin, it's the same thing. It again and again and again. They tend to be opinionated, fair-minded, by and large. Are firmly over into their camp, as it were.
Yes.
Logically, I might say, with the exception of Jacqueline Glenn. I mean, she really does think her point of view, I think, is the only fair, good thing on earth. But good egg, actually. But she's just very, very, you know, hardcore on that. But you know, everybody else, you know, is willing to stuff. You know, with Aiden Paladin, you know, you're going to listen, analyze. You know, a lot of brain work going into that.
Yes.
And with an Armored Skeptic, I think that what you're watching them is you're watching their intellects mature, and that's part of their charm is to watch them. They're starting to grow up a little bit, and you can watch it happen as it happens, and that's mostly, plus they're just two enormously attractive people. Sargon is actually just one of the nicest people I've ever had the pleasure of having a chat with, and we sat there and we talked with each other, and you know.
I gotta mute. Hold on a sec.
Okay, no worries. So I was reminiscing about MythCon there. I think we'll go over and see who's in chat. And somewhere I have the coffee stream. There we are. Go to everybody in chat. Boy, a lot of people in chat. We have Hawk Silk and Jacob and Chadwick's here. Ghost Dog and see who else is here. Sarah and Will and Ryan and Lynn is here. Nico says Armored Skeptic is okay. I actually like Shu more than him. You know, it's interesting. I definitely had that where I met and talked with both of them. And what you find out is that Skeptic kind of puts on a, tough guy, thing on his channel. But in point of fact, he's just nice as pie. He a very charming and very open-minded, very open-minded to other points of view, and enjoyed talking with him. So let's see. Ryan says, we are legion here in chat. We must protect Blind Press from just by our very numbers. Yes, watch out for the proximity badgers. And let's see. Honestly, I've gotten bored with most of the anti-SJW content creators. Yeah, I know what you mean, Chadwick. A lot of the it can seem like the same message, and the silliness of the social justice warriors presents itself time and time again. And it's the same. If you keep watching the same stuff, you can feel like, well, yeah, I don't need to, hear that Music Man Mike is an idiot. I know that. Another example of him being an idiot. He's an idiot as soon as he wakes up in the morning, and that's the. But as you go from subject to subject, sometimes you can get insights from people, and that's what I look for. Insights from people who, have a slightly different take on it. I don't know how many people you subscribe to on YouTube. Last time I looked, I was up to something like 400. So, my which just absolutely wrecks any ever getting a timely announcement that somebody has got a new video up. If you subscribe to 400, YouTube breaks. Basically, the algorithm breaks when it tries to say, "Well, let's tell Skep that Sargon has a new video out." Well, and so do another 100 people on that list of people I subscribe to. I get the messages for the coffee stream. I'll get the message for this coffee stream this afternoon at about 5. Absolutely seriously. And so that's, but anyway, Chadwick was saying that the, anti-SJW to anti-SJW channel, ends up being boring.
Yeah.
And you're hearing the same thing over and over. I hear what you're saying. That's why so many different people, also I have a lot of different interests. That it's not just anti-SJW stuff. So, but like you say, your mileage may vary. Renaculus is still good. He does a great documentary type bit on Hitler and Stalin. Thoughts from Dreyer? You get no bigger agreement from anybody than me. Renee is absolutely one of the most underrated videographers on earth.
I like Renaculus.
Really does.
He's cool.
He does careful, good work. He's cautious with his points of view. He's absolutely hilarious.
He's writing a book, isn't he? Or
Yeah,
he's finished?
yeah, of course he is. He's writing a book, making a movie, building a rocket ship. God knows what he's doing, But yeah, he was working on a book, and he did a great video on Stalin.
Oh yeah,
really, had a lot of respect for the work that he put into that, and I've actually had a couple of conversations with him on Twitter, and he's very interesting to interact with. Very, very nice guy. Let's see. Proximity badgers are a stream flub. It's watch some of the older. Yeah, you'll have to blind.
Yeah.
One of the things that you'll need to include on your reminiscing of the coffee stream will have to be how the proximity badgers came into being.
Yes. Yes, that was me misreading Ryan Rawlings trying to talk about what he was doing at his job with proximity badges.
Right.
But I was sick and high on NyQuil and said proximity badgers and then didn't realize it for 2 minutes and then was looking back through chat and was like, why is everyone laughing?
Yeah, exactly.
And then was like, wait a minute. Did I? And I literally stopped because I was reading an article and reacting to it. And then I just stopped dead and went, Chad, did I say proximity badges or badgers?
Oh my God.
And now I will never live it down.
Oh no, that becomes instant lore. Are you kidding?
Yep.
That's irreplaceable. Watch out, kiddies, do what your mom and dad said. If you don't, the proximity badgers will get you.
Yep.
Kiddos are always a great addition to any stream. Yes, I agree. Except when they're knocking stuff over. But
I wish that I had been able to record Alex at dinner the day of my vegan argument.
Oh, really?
Because we were eating our burritos that we had made. Chock full of ground beef.
Right.
Chock full of ground beef. And
chock full of amino acids.
He calls it ground moo.
Yeah.
So
yes.
he knows what beef is because he knows what moo is. He knows cows. Right. And he says, so Pincalo goes, should it moo now? And he goes, no, it's not mooing. It's just dead. It's just
from the kids just say what needs to be said, It's just dead.
It was just
they make
so
the cow
perfect.
bed, they grind it up and they serve it to me.
It was just so perfect. It's not mooing, it's just dead.
It's just dead. It's not dead, it's just dead.
Yeah, it's just dead. It's just dead.
Without children and animals to
Oh, thank you. Did it fall down?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Happy. Wake Mom.
Speaking of animals, just to here on the ADHD channel, just to scatter shot over to a different subject. Where are you standing on the dog situation?
Yeah.
Where are you standing on the dog situation?
So I'm probably gonna call next week. Because the lady did say within the first week of January. So they're probably just getting back to work this week, and if they haven't, they're probably doing all the review of the questionnaire and the video of me walking and all that stuff.
Okay. So,
So-
but it's on them to get back to you.
It's on them to
right?
get back to me. Yeah.
Okay. So, and when do we think we might get to meet the dog?
Well,
Not being on
that's
the
gonna
air, but
that's gonna be the long wait. It could take between 6 months to a year and a half. I'm not opening your Lego right now. We're gonna do that later today, okay? Because mommy wants to make sure that we keep track of all these pieces so Logan doesn't eat them. Because Logan is
Don't
too
worry.
little for Lego.
Find everyone. Don't worry.
Oh, your orange is not broken. Stop crying.
No, I want some attention. I want mommy's attention. I'm gonna get it. Vegans ruin
It just
everything.
died? What the heck? The orange did not die. It's not dry either, honey. It's fine. Look.
But Mom, it is broken.
Look. It's all apart now. See? It's all in pieces. It's all fine. Oh, well, okay. Well, then you know it's fine, right? Yeah, oh yeah. I love 4-year-olds.
You know. I was just reading through chat here. Zombie Teddy says vegans ruin. He is not wrong. The moral vegans ruin everything. That's absolutely true. Stick veganism, when with this whole holier than thou perch that they preach down to you on, it just presumes a sin that I don't recognize. And those guys can go shaft themselves repeatedly, because I'm not going to listen to their moral fagging. Half the time they're not even, a real vegan is not going to drive a car, is not going to have anything that uses modern lubricants, much stuff that comes from animals you wouldn't even believe it. Animals are amazing at putting complex chemicals together. They're not going to take pharmaceuticals of any kind because of the animals used in testing, not to mention the development of certain things. Not going to be vaccinated against anything. Of course, half of them aren't anyway.
Vegans used to get really pissy at diabetics before the advent of the new kind of insulin? Because didn't diabetics used to have to take pig insulin?
It was originally made from horse insulin.
How about a peanut butter sandwich?
When it was first invented, I think insulin came from horses, I want to say, and they it's a for diabetics. It was produced in vacation. That was it. In October 1920, Canadian Frederick Banting concluded that the digestive secretions were lots of biochemistry, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he was a surgeon. He wasn't really a biochemist, but he knew that certain arteries could be tied off and would lead the pancreas to atrophy. That's how they figured out that the pancreas produced insulin basically by off arteries and seeing how the pancreas reacted. It's kind of a complicated thing, but anyway, that he reasoned that a relatively pure extract of insulin could be made from the islets of Langerhans, they're called, once most of the pancreas was gone. So he jotted a note to himself: ligate pancreatic ducts of the dog, keep dogs alive till it was dogs. That's what it was.
Okay.
And he wrote that note to himself, and it actually yeah, it was from dogs that they first were able to isolate insulin. And once they realized that we can get pure, relatively pure insulin, we could give that, and then they found, boy, they had was the guy who came up with the idea of getting it from cows, from fetal calf pancreas that have not yet developed digestive glands, because that affects the chemistry of it, makes it harder to isolate the stuff. And so, yeah, a lot of calves died for a long time in the production of insulin. And Eli Lilly patented it by, first offered a lot of assistance to him in putting it together. And then his head chemist, George B. Walden, discovered isoelectric precipitation was able to produce large quantities of highly refined insulin. And shortly there started offering it to the public. So that purified animal-sourced insulin was initially the only type of insulin available to diabetics. I'm not going to go into the amino acid structure of insulin, although that's really interesting if you have a background in chemistry and are interested in that sort of thing. But these days, they and then they do some just essentially biochemistry magic to pull it out of yeast and make a kind of insulin B that can be used in human beings. But yeah, for a long time, they killed a lot of calves to produce insulin that kept children and adults alive. And will make you feel bad for that. They will make you feel bad that those poor little innocent calves with their little innocent calf faces let the horrible, evil human children stay alive, who should have died, righteously should have died, proper vegan deaths, and been buried the forest druids to become trees and good things, not evil humans. Vegans basically hate themselves.
They do.
And then what they do is they project that hate, onto who try and live normal lives. That's my take on it anyway. What do you think?
The thing that gets me about vegans the most, not the it's partially the almost religious devotion to their dietary lifestyle choices.
Yeah.
Which in itself kind of tells me that they're trying to convince themselves that it's a great thing to do. But when I hear about vegans trying to give their infants vegan diets,
yeah,
and not even trying to
that's
breastfeed.
when I go a little bit ballistic.
Not even trying to breastfeed their infant themselves.
Right.
But giving their 2-month-olds rice milk.
Yeah.
And bullshit like this. And then they end up in the fucking hospital in the NICU because they're fucking dying of dehydration and malnutrition. But vegan diets are great diets, y'all.
Oh yeah, yo. And there are 2 essential amino acids that you cannot get in the quantities that you need to. Actually, some of the amino chains you can't get at all, but that you can't get in enough quantity to live a healthy life. You'll have a B12 deficiency, you'll have niacin deficiency, all kinds of problems that you have with not eating meat, not having at least dairy. Yeah, iron deficiency. Well, you can, and they say, well, just eat tremendous amounts of spinach. Okay, so
Okay,
you're eating 3 pounds of spinach a day. Okay, you're eating 3 pounds of spinach a day because you don't eat a hamburger. About
and
that is
then you
what you're
spend the
talking about.
rest of your day on the toilet because you've
What's the
eaten
other?
3 pounds of spinach.
Honey, you don't even know the truth of that. Yes, ma'am. And so, no, you know, we are designed by evolution to be omnivores. Okay, we eat fruits, we eat vegetables, we eat nuts, berries, and we eat animals. We eat fish, we eat pigs, we eat in France they even eat horse, and in Korea they eat dog. You know, it's just a local variation. Um, and in some parts of China, they eat dog, although that's starting to be condemned by the government. Interestingly enough, because the West thinks it's disgusting, not because the government thinks it's disgusting.
It's the West, yeah. Buddy,
Yeah,
let's go
they
play
want
Paw
to be.
Patrol downstairs. Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah.
want to be au courant. They want to be au courant right now, and so they want to be, you know, as westernized as they possibly can be. So there is that. Anyway, offending any vegans who hear and want to.
Well, Chadwick had asked, but like when it comes to news, just before we started in chat, he had asked if we had heard about the disabled vet that had gotten beaten up by the police during the holidays, and I had not. I don't know if you had.
I did not hear about a disabled vet who got beaten up by the police. Where?
Yeah, Chadwick, do you know where this happened? Did this happen in Michigan? Where like, because I would be very interested to read about that, and hear about that. Wee-haw, huh?
Yeah, because you have a rodeo rider.
Yeah,
See
he
if
loves his horses.
So this was a disabled vet who was beaten up by police. Disabled, beaten by suspects accused in
Where's my baby?
no attempt to save a turtle being tortured by 3 people. No.
Make a mouse house.
No.
Home screen. What's new? Area. L1 button.
Don't see. I don't see. Oh wait, that's 2015. I don't see anything about that. I don't see anything about that. 2015, but I don't see. Oh wait, shocking footage. No, that's 2010. No, I don't see anything about it. So I'm not getting it on the Google machine. I don't know how to research it any more thoroughly without taking up a bunch of time on stream to do that. So anybody who has that, if you could throw it into chat and let us know what's going with them. Let's see. Oh, okay, Chadwick's got some stuff for us here. Pretty sure it was at Walmart. He was trying to buy alcohol, and they wanted to charge his wife and his children. He told them no because he was buying it. Of course, they called the cops, and she was ID because never told him what the charge was. So they got a little upset to pull him out of his chair and stand on his back, which paralyzed him. What? Why isn't this all over the news? Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Faithless. I think, yeah, Yeah, no, yeah, it's true.
Okay.
If it is, the left tends to ignore it. Nico, you're absolutely right. If it was a black guy, then it would be plastered everywhere. If it happened in Oklahoma, no telling. White guy in Oklahoma, the press wouldn't give a shit about that. I agree with Chadwick. Anyway, I don't know. But getting back to the vegan thing, Duck Dog says, I know a guy who's a pescatarian, meaning a guy who will eat fish but not meat, because he hates the taste of chicken and allergic to beef. He hates being allergic to beef.
Oh, is that
I'm
the
going to
penalty?
talk just for a second. Hang
Yeah,
on.
no,
Yeah, just one second.
I'll talk to them.
Hello?
Sorry, chat. I was
Yes.
switching back to what's it called? I was switching back to the computer. I've got Alex on his video game, which he's almost done.
Okay.
If I
That'd
could
be
sign
great.
into Discord, I would just drop a link, but I forgot
Thank
my
you very much.
password.
I'm actually
No worries, chat.
on
No
my
worries.
stream right now. And so I'm broadcasting this. So thanks for calling. Bye.
Skep isn't muted, by the way, just in case. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. Getting something fixed for my wife at
good.
the compounding pharmacy. It's all good. It's happening. I think things are happening. So I'm sorry to.
Glad to hear.
I'm sorry. Where were we?
Oh, I was just explaining that there is now no longer 2 blind press emoticons. Because I'm back down in my office. I've got Alex on his video game now.
Very good.
Yeah.
He's well on his way to becoming an edgelord in the basement. By 15, the kid is going to be just so completely plugged into the internet.
Well, see, the thing is that Pincalo knows enough, because he grew up around all that, the early technology, because his dad's computer business and stuff.
Sure.
That he's educated enough about the internet that our kids aren't gonna, like, both of us really. I know a little bit less than he does, but we both know enough that our kids aren't going to be able to aren't going to be able to do anything that we won't know about. Like, we stay abreast of things. So we're not going to be one of those parents that are like, what do you mean something happened online? We supervise, like, even now, like, Alex is just playing a Paw Patrol game, but like, he doesn't go online, obviously. He's only 4.
Right.
But could we have called it the Dueling Blind stream? That's funny. So yeah, we're pretty abreast of things that are going on, and we plan on staying that way. And we also already are the parents that, oh, you're going to be bad. Well, we're going to take away your game. We're going to take away your TV. We're going to, like, we take the privileges away. We don't, we actually parent. I see so many parents, like, on the bus or whatever.
It's the electronic babysitter.
They just don't parent.
Right. And then you end up with these whining, indulged children. Basically, they're evil, and they're bad seed creatures. Their childhoods and upbringing are a waste of time.
I kind of gave my second cousin a little bit of crap last night. My family's a little weird. My uncle is only 5 years older than I am, because my grandparents kind of had a, oh shit, you can still get pregnant.
Yeah.
My grandma was 40, I think, when she had my Uncle Mark.
Okay.
So my father and my uncle are 14 years apart.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So so my uncle has his own son who is 6 months younger than Alex.
Okay.
So he's my second cousin.
Right.
Because he's Alex's first cousin. I think that's how that works. I don't know how.
No, it's not. It's actually, he's your
Backwards.
first cousin once removed. One generation removed.
Yeah. So anyway, I had to give him some crap last night because he doesn't get disciplined really. It's soft, but no, don't do that. Or, we don't hit. Or it's very soft spoken.
Yep.
And so he tried to tattle on Alex for no reason.
Right.
And this happens a lot. And all Alex was doing was getting out of the chair he was in because he was in the wrong chair at the table. So he was moving to the correct chair. And this kid's like, look what Alex is doing. He's getting out of his chair. And I'm like, dude, he was told to. Stop it. Just
in any
it.
case, don't be a tattletale.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Snitches
I said, don't be a tattletale.
What you do is you whip out a switchblade, put it up to his nose, and say, "Snitches get stitches."
Yeah, I think my uncle probably would have had some issue with that. But my father and I probably would have done the same thing. But
I'm just teasing for everybody gets all passionate about this. I'm having a little bit of fun with it, but yeah, the part of what you're trying to do is some tools for dealing with other people, and you have to tell them what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And kids don't understand subtlety. If you're using softening words because you're weak internally, you shouldn't hit. We mustn't raise our voices. That's not as good as don't hit him. Don't do that. Don't ever do it again. Kid can understand. That's the sound of love. That's the sound of courage right there.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to do that, you shouldn't have children, I don't think. That's one man's opinion.
Oh, I probably got a lot of looks the day that Alex ran away from me at the park. I probably got a lot of looks of, oh, what a horrible mom. Because I was laying into him. I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was so pissed that I put Logan in the stroller and I put Alex in the baby carrier.
Oh my God.
Because I was like, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And
you were not getting that chance again.
And then there was the time at school when I found out that the teacher told me he took a kid's glasses off their face. And I think the teacher felt sorry for Alex. Because I was so mad. Because that kind of hit close to home for me, right? Because he took somebody's way of seeing off their face.
Mom,
well, it's also a great way to injure a kid's. It's a great way to injure a kid's eye. As somebody who grew up wearing glasses,
Still there?
Yeah. I just want to make sure everything was okay.
Yeah, no, it's good. No, he only did that once.
Faithless has a really good comment right there. Soft language is tacit approval.
It is
absolutely on the money, Faithless. That's absolutely correct.
Mom.
Double jump, honey.
And Chadwick says it takes a lot for me to spank my children if they need it.
Help.
But that was kind of what I did. And so I also flicked mine on your bits here to flick them. I had perfected it with my ring finger, tucking it behind my thumb, and just I knew exactly how hard to do it to irritate my children, to make them pay attention.
Yep.
And listen to me. And I never really spanked my children. A couple of times they got a quick swat, one quick swat on the rear, and that's more just like, hey, pay attention, as much as it is else. And
I think the only time Alex got hit was he got his hand slapped when he was 1 because he went to touch an outlet.
Oh yeah,
And
swatting their hand.
he's never
That doesn't
touched an
count.
outlet again.
That doesn't count.
Yeah. He's never done
My
it
kid
again.
was going at himself. I would have thrown that kid across the room.
Yeah.
But it's
Could you please stop playing with those glass doors? You're going to break them.
Why?
Because you're hanging off of them.
the worst
Because
parental
she ate one
minority
piece.
game. Them telling you to go out and cut your own switch. That's interesting because the church I used to go to, the pastor talks lovingly about the fact that it was a sign of love. His mother would tell him to go out and cut his own switch, and she'd beat him bloody, until backs of my legs were bleeding. She loved me so much, and then beating the love of Christ into him. And I thought, wow, that's really a great metaphor. That's really kind of a gentle, loving thing to beat the love of Christ into somebody like that. And that was when I began to realize that I may not be as religious as I thought I was when I was a kid.
I will be right back, guys. Alex is getting into something.
All right. Sarah says, I always love the dirty looks I get from the parents when I made my sons do push-ups or some such when they acted up. That's interesting. I don't know if I could have if I could have told them to do it, but I'm not sure my kids would have done it, Sarah. But Scotsman, the smacked arm doesn't do much harm. Yeah, it is. It's how you know in line that you're in an area where that's just not a good thing. Yeah, a wire hanger, a fly swatter, and so forth. But being the love of Christ in someone isn't very biblical, nor was the Inquisition. Yes, I agree with you. Many things that are done in quote unquote Christ's name are with anything that Jesus said. Or anybody else, save some pissed off old people in the Old Testament maybe. But that's neither here nor there. Let's see. As soon as my daddy quit hitting me, he started making me carry water up the hill to water the plants in 2 5-gallon buckets at a time. 5 buckets of water. Who can tell me how much 5 gallons of water weighs? Well, a pint's a pound the whole world round, and there's 2 pints in a quart. That means every quart is 2 pounds. A quart is a quarter of a gallon. Okay, that's why they call it a quart. And so if a quart is 2 pounds, that means a gallon pounds. So those were 40 gallons water weight each. And plus the weight of the bucket. So, you're basically carrying almost, 80 plus pounds extra up a hill. It's easier going downhill, carrying downhill, but of course, that's never where the well is, it's low. And you're always carrying the water up away and carrying the empty buckets down to the well. That's why you'll never hear people say, go up to the well. That's always go down to the well. let's see. Will says I stuck a firm in an electric socket when I first started crawling. Yes, I did the same thing. I actually stuck a bobby pin, one of my mother's, into an electric socket, and it instantly blew up the fuse in the fuse boxes. We did not have circuit breakers back in the day, so you didn't just go down and reset it. You actually had, if you didn't have a fuse for that particular amperage in that electric circuit, you had to go to the hardware store and buy one.
Yep.
And I remember when it happened. It's one of my earliest memories. I was probably 2.5, 3 years old, and I'd gotten one of these a bobby pin on the carpet, and I picked it up, and I remember pushing it in, and there was this blue explosion, and I was back, and my hand hurt, and I was yelling, and my dad picked me up, and I was in trouble. I was the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because I'd done the fuse, and I remember my dad took me down and showed me the fuse box. Little 3-year-old, dark and all that stuff. The lights went out. It was in the living room.
I lived in a house for about 10 years that had electricity that was like that. It was built a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we had a few times where we didn't have spare fuses.
Sure.
So my mom had to run to Canadian Tire and grab fuses.
To Canadian Tire for fuses.
Yep.
What is Canadian Tire? Is that like a hardware store or something?
It's a big box. It's become more big box than it used to be. It was just a hardware auto parts store, but now they've kind of branched off into like camping gear and fishing and hunting and sports. So it's your basic big box hardware / sporting goods / other odds and ends store, and it's called Canadian Tire.
Got blasted against a wall after putting a finger in a 220 volt socket.
I'll do it.
Yeah. In Canada, is the same as in the States, right? You have 110 up there. You don't have European voltage.
We have. I'm not too familiar with electronics and electricity, but I know we have 110 and 120.
Yeah, 110 and 120, which is, and that's what Europeans refer to as wimpy American power, because it's about half the voltage of the UK, which is like 220, and Gulf City Bend says that, and all over Europe is 200 to 240, depending on the country. And there are various, transformer and run your appliances from here, or power supplies that can automatically adjust to the variable electric potential difference that is going to exist between the ground and what's supplied. But faithless, high voltage and extremely low amperage. For those of us who played with Tesla coils growing up, we know that it will not kill you. However, it's actually what it is the volts times the amps. So if you, and that leads to a dimension called wattage. When wattage is a measure of power, and so if you have like half an amp at 110 volts, that'll do that will bake you like you can't believe, and that'll kill you dead. one of the problems they had actually with killing people in the electric chair, just to go dark here for a moment, was they thought that they had to use a whole bunch of voltage. And what they did, so they used, they made, like 3,600 volts, available to it. And voltage is a measure of what's called the electromotive force. Think of it as the velocity of electricity. It's actually the rate that certain amounts of current can be transferred. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is that flashed over the skin thing, burning him, but killingly. And it was kind of a gruesome, bad thing. Now, fortunately, it did render them unconscious instantly, so they didn't feel themselves being burned to death. But there were basically some things where they basically killed a guy with induction heating for about 15 minutes. And once they realized, hey, what we got to do is the voltage, and give the amps a little bit of time to get absorbed into the core of the body and hit the heart. And we'll turn the heart off, and then we'll turn the brain off. And they were able to kill people, more efficiently. Which I'd like to see them go back to research that, refine that research, and start with vegans, really. And I'm just kidding. I like to say silly, absurd things like that. Pay attention to what I'm saying.
Nico was saying, he was asking me if I had any punishment, or what would be my go-to punishments when my kids learn curse words. Because his cousin needs advice. Well, my kids are already starting to, Alex is already starting to repeat stuff. And I'm just doing what my parents did with me, which is tell them those are words for adults. And they're not for kids to use, which that's what I got told. When you grow up, you can use them. When I was older, my parents sat down with me and was like, listen, we're not stupid. We know you're going to use those words with your friends, and that's fine. If you ever use them with us, just run. You know what I mean? Just, I never actually swore at my parents probably until I was 15 or 16, and my mother and I got into some pretty bad arguments. I've never I don't really have any advice for people whose kids are actively cursing at them, because I never did it, so I don't have anything to go on.
Yeah, my son decided that he was grown up enough to use adult words. I think he was about 11 or 12 years old, and he was hauling out words, and I just let him do it, And after a while, he would use one and sort of see if I was paying attention. One day we were out, I remember, and he made some disparaging comment about a bunch of bums. I think I was, at any rate, when you're in frequent some places on the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah.
And he saw some people over there, and they were bums. They're addicts and stuff like that down where the AA place was. And I was taking him with me. And he made a disparaging comment. I said, yeah, when you use those words, you sound just like they do. Mm-hmm. Just stopped him cold. I could see him thinking about it. You got to use the right treatment on the right kid. And that seemed to really just affect him, and he never used. I never heard him use another swear word in front of his mother. He occasionally will do it with me, but it's just a damn or a hell or something like that. He got very conservative about it.
I curse like I grew up around motorcycle people and truck drivers, and when my mother actually bought me the Marshall Mathers LP for my 10th birthday. So Eminem's second album. Or no, she bought me Eminem's first album for my 10th birthday. And she goes, I know you like Eminem. I know like he's got some really harsh lyrics, and if you sing along with them, that's fine. Don't you ever actually speak like that, or I will take this CD and I will snap it. And that was enough. Like she never told me I couldn't listen to music because of the lyrics. She never made curse words taboo. It was just understood that that's language that you can use, like when you're old enough, like that's language you can use with your friends, and when you're an adult, well, there's nothing I can really do. But they also taught me about how often, like how sometimes if you use it way too much, you sound just uneducated.
Exactly. It's like a spice. This is the way I explain it to both my kids. It's like a spice. If you use too much of it, you spoil the dish.
Yeah.
Use it to use it as an accent to denote real or something extreme, and hold it in reserve for that. And what you'll find is it will expand your ability to express yourself far beyond what your normal range of expression. It's a great additive. My parents never even would say hell in front of us. Okay, raised by two people who you just did not cuss. That was not part of the Calvinist philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
It was not cussing. And I remember I came home from college and I had I had one of my there were these things called 8-track tapes. You wouldn't believe these if you saw them. But anyway, it was kind of like a cassette tape, only not as advanced.
Yeah.
It was a looped tape that changed tracks every 8 times an album. Anyway, the little song. Make a long story short, it was a concert tape of Ronnie Van Zant and Leonard Skinner.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing the song. I still remember the song, Give Me 3 Steps. And it's the one where he says, in the middle of the song, Lord, I ain't going to fight this guy over some, and he hauls out the C word right there.
Oh, wow.
And I was playing that, and he says that, and I just realized my mom is in the passenger seat of my car. And mother just frozen look on her face. She never said anything about it. But it was like the 1,000-mile stare came to life. Absolutely frozen in place when she heard that word come out of his mouth.
I think the only word I wouldn't sing along with, because I don't anymore because it's just gotten so crappy.
Yeah.
But when I used to listen to rap, the only word I wouldn't sing along with was the N-word. Because I just didn't feel the need to.
Yeah.
It was in the song, yeah, it's part of the lyrics, but I just didn't feel the need to. It wasn't like...
just to show you how innocent things were. How innocent things were. Many years ago, this was about 1970, around there, came out with an album called Who Are You? I think no, Who's Next? That's what it was. And the number one song off of it, and it was a big hit for him, was "Who Are You?" And at the end of it, he sings, "Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you?"
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was legal to do that on the radio back then if you were singing it, because it was artistic expression.
Yeah.
That word, because it was obscene if you said it, but if you sang it, it was fine. And so that was and I remember when that came out, and you know, the Tipper Gore's, Al Gore's wife, was big against that.
Right.
Frank Zappa testified in Congress against censorship, and that's what has led us to the place where we are now, where, you know, the hip hop artists and the rap rock guys these days just let it all hang out. They'll say anything and everything. That's probably the best way. Let the marketplace of ideas be the decider. Don't censor things.
So that's what I like about bands. Like, so I have a theory about today's left. Like, when it comes to music, I have a theory that today's millennials listened to bands like Rage Against the Machine.
Yes.
And took their words as gospel. They took their words, like, if you listen to anything off of Rage Against the Machine's self-titled album, like Know Your Enemy, or Bullet in the Head, or Freedom, like those songs in particular, it's like today's left have just listened to those songs, and instead of taking them as artistic and like expressions of somebody's opinion, they have decided, no, this is actually what the government is like.
Exactly. You know, it's Faithful says Rage Against the Machine is the machine. Be the machine. Don't rage against the machine. Be the machine.
Yeah.
You know, Scott's been talking about Never Mind the Bollocks by the Sex Pistols. Wasn't sold in many places because of its name. Yeah, that also wasn't very good music in my humble opinion. It was, you know, one thing about the early punk, and don't get me wrong, I was a punker. I loved the Ramones and the Talking Heads and all that stuff. I thought that stuff was, you know, wonderful, and I think the Talking Heads especially did some innovative things, and groups like the B-52s were great fun. But it's not Mozart, okay? It's not even the Beatles. You know, the Ramones was a guy who could strum the guitar really, really fast. That was the height of musicality in that, you know, and whoever the drummer of the week was, you know, whoever wasn't OD'd on heroin would, as one of the Ramones playing the drums, burn through a couple of bass players, Dee Dee and CW, you know, but
I love the Ramones.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. The KKK Took My Baby Away is one of my favorite songs ever.
She went,
you know, I Want to Be Sedated.
Today, said she's going to LA, but she never got there. She never got there. She never got there. They said, okay, I'm done now.
KKK Took My Baby Away.
When I was a toddler, the Ramones were my imaginary friends. I wouldn't go down the slide without doing roll call.
Oh, that's funny. That
because my mother and my uncle played the Ramones, the Dead Kennedys, all that for me.
When the Dead Kennedys, sure. The presidents of the United States of America.
Yep. So, well, and that's my kids are. It's the same way with my kids. They don't really listen to kids' music. They fall asleep in the car to Disturbed and Rob Zombie and the Chili
Absolutely.
Peppers and like
Beat on the brat. Beat on the brat.
yeah.
Beat on the brat with a baseball bat.
Yep.
Duck Dog talked about Beat on the Brat. I'm sorry, I had to bring that up. That was
Yep.
just a wonderful song. Anyway, go on. Let's see. You know what? It's 10:20. This is usually about when we wrap up. I didn't know if you wanted to continue on or what.
Yeah, we should. I should wrap up because I've got Alex with me. When next week he goes back to school next Monday, and things will be back to
A little bit more normal.
a little bit more normal, guys. Thank you for being so patient.
Show prep next time. I'm sorry.
So do
You
I.
had to listen to my.
It's been
Me go on.
yeah. It's been crazy this week. It's because Logan's back to daycare today, so today and tomorrow it's just gonna be tomorrow and Friday it's gonna be Alex here, and then they're both back next week to school, so it'll be back to normal, and I'll be able to be a bit more prepared, and things will be quieter. But I really do appreciate your guys' patience with me and Alex, and I know you guys like Alex, and he's a good boy. He's just a little boy.
He's just a little boy. He's going to do little boy things. It's going to be more and more interesting as he grows older, because I have a feeling that this is going to become this particular stream, and we'll get to see him grow up on the stream. And you can watch
Karaoke stream when, says Will Onios. I actually, if I was actually trying to sing, you guys might actually enjoy it. Because I can actually sing on key when I'm actually trying. If y'all are in Discord, sometimes I'm in the music room, and when I play music, I sing along, and my mic's not muted. So,
so if you want to hear Blind Press complimenting Joey Ramone, you can hear her sing "The KKK Took My Baby Away" in full-throated. Good deal. Well, we'll do this. We're going to do this again tomorrow. Chat, thank you for coming out and watching us today. All you guys are amazing. I love that you want to be here and want to be part of the show. You're so important to the show. Is not the show without you guys. We wanted to do something that was interactive with our audience, and we appreciate your ideas, the research you do, your wonderful that goes out and searches everything, catches us when we're wrong, and helps us get it right, and adds so much to the show. So thanks everybody for coming out and watch us. You want to take us out, Blind?
Sure, and thank you so much. I just want to reiterate everything Skep said. Thank you guys for coming. Let's make this year an awesome year for this channel and the stream. And if you guys are awake tonight at 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central, please come and hang out with the Minions of the Zoo, where tonight is Skep's night, and I will be there, and so will a bunch of other people that you guys will enjoy.
It'll be the usual pack. We're going to have some fun tonight, and that's at 10:30 Central Time, 11:30 Eastern Time. there or be square.
Yep. And we'll see you tomorrow morning at the usual time. And I hope you guys have a really great day. And catch you later, guys. Stay safe out there.
Yes.